What is short-termism, how it affects us, and how do we overcome it. Okay, watch this full video carefully because this is going to help you in handling many of the challenges which are getting you stuck into a loop. So let's understand first what is short-termism or short-term thinking. When our priorities are driven by our sense of short term pain and pleasure and not by our sense of long term well being. It is called short termism. When we get trapped into thinking about immediate pain and pleasure, and every plan, everything, every goal, every decisions, and even our expectations are driven by this thought only. What would I get tomorrow? What would I get within this week or within this month? This is called short termism. I've shared this earlier also, and at the risk of repeating, let me share it once again. If you look at the top 5 companies in the world, if you look at the top 5 companies in the world, you would find names like Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, or Alphabet, or Facebook, or Meta. And what are these companies into? They are all into one game, according to me, and that is the game of getting more and more human attention. So I call it look at me game. Amazon says look at me. Google says look at me. Facebook says look at me. Instagram says look at me. WhatsApp says look at me. Microsoft products, they also tell look at me. All of them are into one game, that is look at me. So our attention is driven by these companies because more attention they command, the more power they exude, the more opinions they shape, more products can be sold. And knowingly or unknowingly, we become the commodity. When everything is free, we are the commodity, and that's what happens in today's world. Now the question comes, how does it make me short term oriented person? If you look at the world order today, the way we live today in the current times, everything is happening very, very fast. Okay, everything is happening in a way which never happened earlier. The speed of change has increased in general. What used to take many years is happening now in many months or few months, and what used to happen in months is happening now in weeks. And what happens because of this? It creates a tendency, it creates a quality of mind which starts expecting things too soon. And that is reflecting in our life. In fact, majority of us get trapped into short-termism that I want to do something, I feel good about it, I start doing it, I get some result, and then it becomes boring. And then I see that it doesn't have any stability in it. And I give it up, I get into another cycle. And this keeps on happening with many of us, which gets us trapped. This is a trap which takes us away from long-term success. In fact, majority of the people today have lost the ability of thinking, even giving a thought on those goals which are going to take longer time. So many times it's not question of your capabilities. It's the question of you do not even contemplate those goals which may require long time frame because I want everything now. My sense of direction and my decisions are driven by only by my immediate pain pleasure and not by the sense of what is right and wrong in long term, and that's called short termism. And what happens because of this? We keep on getting into those kind of work cycles expecting it will change my life and keep on realizing that this is not good enough, I have to do something else. And many of us lose a lot of time into this short termism. One of the signs of maturity, signs as in SIGN, one of the signs of maturity is understanding this short termism, realizing what appears urgent may not be important, and disciplining ourselves to take action on those areas which may not give us immediate result, but we know that they are better for us in long term. This ability, if we lose, we would keep on getting trapped. In fact, many people, even today's world is called information world. Yeah, there's a lot of information. Why do still people get trapped into Ponzi schemes? When a bank or some other scheme, a person tells that you can make quick money, it would give you so much of interest. There is a scheme which can give you this, and people get trapped into it even today. Why do they get trapped into it? Because of the short term orientation. We have to understand, as youth, every one of you have to understand, if something is happening without a logical explanation, without a sense of value in it, it is not going to last long. So, temporary should not supersede something which is right in long term. Now, the question comes, how do you overcome this short termism? Okay. Yes, I'm getting trapped into short term thinking and I'm not able to do something worthwhile, something big. I'm not able to take a long journey. I avoid anything which would require a long action plan. How do I overcome it? Now, if you look at it from the point of view of psychology, there are two things we need to do. Number one, it's called stimulus control, and number two is called response control. Stimulus control and response control. Let's understand each one of that. Stimulus control means controlling all the stimulus which are going to my mind. Okay, my mind is driven by two things: stimulus control and response control. So, how do I control the stimulus? When I place myself in the right environment. What are the things which create your environment in today's world? One of the big part of your environment comes by your social media or by the websites you visit, your online life. On an average, a youth is spending more than 6 hours a day on phone or on any other kind of screen. So that is creating a big part of your environment. Second, the people you meet on daily basis, your friend circle, the organizations with which you are associated with. Now, have a relook at all these things which are helping you to create an environment and find out, does this environment promote a genuine long-term temperament or genuine long-term goals, or does it only pampers you for a short-term temporary pleasure related things? If your environment is such where everything around you is only temporary, there is no sense of commitment, there is no sense of foresightedness in that, that means you need to work on this aspect. So stimulus control means I choose those people who can think in long term, who are already big achievers because of their ability to stay put and achieve something significant in long term. I choose those kind of online platforms, social media platforms, etc., which would help me to stay long term focused, which will help me or which will nurture me to create a right strategy, a systematic thought process. And I choose to become a part of those organizations where I will meet such people, where I will indulge into such activities where there is no short term gain but only long term gain. Now, by this stimulus control, I help my mind to develop a quality of thinking in long term, because whether we like it or not, we are influenced hugely by our environment. Most of our learning, our subconscious thought process is influenced by the environment we place ourselves into. So look at the quality of your friends, look at quality of your organizations with whom you come in touch, look at quality of your online visits which you do on your websites or different kind of social media handles. Have a real look at it and find out, is that triggering short-termism? Are you talking too much of riffraff, or are you talking something significant? Okay. Now next comes the response control. Stimulus control and response control. How do I control the response? Now those of you who have watched my video, which I made I think on 1st of January, the video was titled as Something Interesting About Positivity. I have highlighted the importance of goals. Okay. So one problem with people who are trapped into short-term thinking is they do not even consider those goals which take long term, which which require long-term focus. So any goal, let us say if I tell you that you have a great opportunity, and if you start working on this after 2 years or after 3 years, you are going to get yourself into a very good place. Okay. Now the moment you think 2 years, the moment you think 3 years, you think, oh, that's too long. No, I want which will excite me right now, which will give me result next month, within 2 months. And when such is the quality, obviously your response is always going to be weak, because you're not even giving yourself a target which will challenge you to think on long term. So therefore, the important aspect in response control is developing a sense of target goal which drives you for long term, and then of course dividing it with the right plan on a short term small steps which you can take on daily basis. So that is one very important thing. Get associated with that kind of goal which will help you doing a long term thinking. Okay. Number two, practicing delaying gratification. How do you practice delaying gratification? Things which you like, avoiding it for few days. Nurturing a quality of mind which has this ability of letting go. Okay. It could be simple, your ability to fast for a couple of days or fast for one day. In fact, that is making you go through this practice of postponing something which you like to have. Okay. Where you resist your urges for some time, and this gives you a confidence that I can actually control my mind than being driven just by mind. My mind doesn't control me, but I control my mind. So do those kind of activities. You can play simple willpower game. You can tell yourself, this week I am not going to do this, and follow that, and this will create a quality in your mind which will tell you that yes, I can actually control a lot of things. Imagine if you did it for an entire year, every week you tried to do something, one thing, and you did that one thing properly. Rest of the thing you let go, but that one thing, you give the signal to your mind that you can control yourself better, and that way you will develop a quality which will help you in delaying your gratification. Okay, that's an important quality in dealing with your tendencies which drive you in short termism. Okay, now one more aspect to understand in order to develop a better control, or is developing a long term oriented mindset, is always keeping your fundamentals very clear in front of you. So if anything which violates fundamentals, let us say if somebody comes and tell me, hey, I have a business proposal for you, or I have an investment scheme where if you invest, I'm going to give you returns like 10% in a month, then this is challenging the fundamentals. Okay, what are the popular interest rate, what are the popular, if it is not satisfying fundamental rule, then I have to avoid it. Otherwise I'll again get trapped into short termism, where I'll get to do something which will give me immediate result, but it's a potential trap for a long term related aspects. So please see that anywhere when you see that fundamentals are getting challenged, that should make you alert. That should make you think that, am I getting into short term trap? Yes, this is making me, this is very tempting. Immediately it is making me feel very good, but in long term, is it good for me? So if you drive yourself with a sense of fundamentals, you can actually avoid many times these short term thinking or short term traps. Okay. So do these few things which will help you overcoming your short termism. And if you can overcome this, in fact, this single thing in today's world, that I have the ability to stay focused on one thing for a long time, it gives you advantage over more than 80% of the people. Because more than 80% of the people in my view today do not have the ability to stay focused on one thing for a long time. And that has become a big challenge. The world is not going through a competency challenge, the world is going through the challenge of discipline. And this we can overcome by cultivating a mind which is comfortable in thinking with long term. Nature teaches you that everything has a time frame. Okay, and if we stay with nature and learn, then we create our expectations correct. So there is a path which I need to take, and I need to enjoy the journey, not just wait for that goal, that fruit, to feel that sense of fulfillment and happiness. If I can nurture that continuously, step by step in my life, then I'll be able to overcome these tendencies to get into short term trap. I would not be driven just by my sense of urgency, but be driven by my understanding of what is important and what is not important. So I hope now it's clear. Just see that you revisit this video and think of this very important aspect of overcoming the tendencies of getting into short termism or short term trap, because many times in short term what looks very pleasant can bring a long term pain. We got to be very careful about this. We got to work on stimulus control and response control, and both of those things can help you in manage your life better. Understand, urgent doesn't mean important. Many people do not understand this. Urgent and important are different. Better or try to drive your life with a sense of what is important and not what is just urgent. Okay. And I thank all of you for all your support, wonderful emails, messages. Uh, I see some of the people writing me regular emails, giving their feedbacks, and that encourages me. Okay, so thank you so much once again for your support, and do share. And if you think that the content is valuable, then the easiest thing to do is to share it with your friends, share it in the groups, on the WhatsApp groups where you feel it can add value. Okay, thank you.